The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called in the dead of night. A gathering so urgent that ambassadors from across 17 sectors had arrived in various states of undress and panic. The great domed chamber buzzed with nervous energy as species that had feuded for millennia found themselves united by a single, terrifying problem. Humanity had broken the rules. Order! Order! High Chancellor Vexera slammed her bioluminescent gavel, her 6 arms trembling with barely contained fear. The emergency session regarding the human problem is now in session. Ambassador THYSS of the Serpentine Collective raised her scaled head. They've done it again, Chancellor. The Rigel dispute, 500 years of careful negotiations, delicate treaties, balanced compromises. The humans showed up and solved it in 17 minutes. A collective shudder ran through the assembly. The Rigel dispute had been a masterpiece of galactic diplomacy, involving 12 species for trade routes and a complex web of mutual grievances that provided steady work for thousands of negotiators, mediators, and legal scholars across the galaxy. Ow! Wheezed Counselor Grix, his methane-breathing apparatus fogging with anxiety. How do they keep doing this? The same way they always do, replied Ambassador Zelnoth, her crystalline form refracting nervous light patterns. They ignored our carefully crafted negotiation protocols entirely. They just talked to everyone involved. The chamber erupted in horrified gasps and chittering. But the proper channels, protested the Andromedan representative. The formal procedures. You can't just bypass 3 centuries of established diplomatic framework. Tell that to the humans, THYSS hissed. They sat down with all 12 faction leaders in the same room. The same room. Can you imagine? And said, what do you all actually want? Then they just gave everyone a solution that worked. High Chancellor Vexera's bioluminescence flickered weakly. What was their proposal? A shared trade route with rotating oversight, tax revenue distributed by population and need, and a joint defense agreement. THYSS's voice dropped to a horrified whisper. Everyone said yes. Immediately, the silence that followed was deafening. Ambassador Krex of the Mantid Hegemony finally spoke, his mandibles clicking nervously. Do you realize what this means? The diplomatic corps on 17 worlds will be unemployed. It gets worse, announced a new voice from the chamber's entrance. Ambassador Chun Wei of Earth strode in, wearing simple business attire and carrying what appeared to be a datapad and a cup of coffee. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible in the Centauri system. The entire assembly flinched. Several representatives actually hissed. Human, Chancellor Vexera said carefully, we weren't expecting. Oh, I know. Chen interrupted cheerfully. But I heard you were discussing our recent diplomatic activities, and I thought I should clarify a few things. He took a sip of his coffee. We got solutions for the vegan trade war, the serious mining rights conflict, and that nasty business with the Tau Ceti inheritance dispute. The chamber fell into stunned silence. All of them, whispered Counselor Grix. Sure, Chen shrugged. Basic problem solving, really. Most of these conflicts exist because everyone's too invested in the negotiation process to focus on actual solutions. He consulted his datapad. The vegan trade war, for instance, you've been negotiating for 2 centuries over shipping routes. But if you just build 3 news stations at these coordinates, he projected a holographic star map. Everyone gets what they need. But the negotiation jobs, stammered Ambassador Zelnoth. The entire diplomatic infrastructure. We'll be free to work on actual new problems instead of maintaining old ones, Chen finished. Look, we're not trying to disrupt your system. We just don't see the point in keeping conflicts alive for the sake of process. The High Chancellor slumped in her seat. What do you want from us? Chun smiled that terrifying human smile, the one that suggested competence and goodwill in equal measure. Want? Nothing. But we do have a proposal. Earth is hosting a solutions summit next month. All ongoing galactic disputes, all interested parties, one location. We figure we can clear the entire backlog in a weekend. The chamber erupted in chaos, but through the noise, one sound was clearly audible. the sound of an entire galaxy's diplomatic establishment collectively hyperventilating.